Welcome. Today we're going to talk about how social media impacts teens. Social media is a digital technology that promotes shared content, multimedia, and information through virtual networks. Some common social media platforms include TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, and YouTube. A teen's access to social media has negative effects on their lives, including addiction, depression, anxiety, and cyberbullying, which can sadly lead to suicide. Social media activates the pleasure centers of the brain. Since the teen brain is not fully developed, it is not easy for them to pull away from its addictive nature. As parents, we can talk to our children about overindulgence, self-control, and having an active lifestyle as a substitute for social media. As parents and community leaders, we need to hold our lawmakers and our social media businesses accountable for having measures in place to help us create settings and boundaries on the apps that are age appropriate. We need to remind businesses that teens do not always make wise decisions, so stricter settings and content need to be in place. As parents, we can set the social media settings to an appropriate age. Learning how to use the parental controls will enable us as parents to have some control over what our teens connecting to. We can use our Wi-Fi router app to disconnect your child's device at any time of the day.
Social media may have an impact on teens connecting to friends and family, but just like anything else, social media does have a negative effect on teens. Teens who have been cyberbullied or read online news on social media can cause a teen to have depression. Evidence shows that social media causes depression in teens. Kids can feel isolated when spending a large amount of time on social media. I also deal with depression and anxiety. This chart shows a link between hours of social media and increased depression. As the red line on this chart indicates, the longer teens are on social media, the more depressed they become. To overcome social media depression, here are some solutions. Set limits on how you use social media. Unfollow accounts that make you feel bad. Create a safe social media space. Get a hobby. Stay physically active. Talk to a therapist. In my experience, having hobbies and talking to a therapist have helped me overcome my depression and anxiety.
One of the major issues of social media among teens is cyberbullying. It is a notable issue present on almost all the most popular social media platforms. One reason why cyberbullying is so common is due to the various forms it can come in. These may include exclusion, masquerading, harassment, blaming, and trolling. This is a worldwide issue and is especially present in America. About half the teens in the US alone have experienced cyberbullying. It can occur based on different factors such as appearance, race, gender, sexuality, etc. The effects of cyberbullying can be detrimental to a person. This can harm a person mentally, physically, and emotionally. This problem is very widespread and will almost be impossible to eliminate. However, there are some ways that its impact can be reduced. One way is to begin permanently banning users. Another way is to criminally charge people for cyberbullying. This may be an issue as it can interfere with people's First Amendment rights. A final solution could be to receive help from elected officials. These authorities don't pay much attention to this issue. With their power, they have the ability to help significantly reduce the numbers of bullies online.
There are strong links between depression and/or cyberbullying and suicide. According to the National Institutes of Health, teens who have experienced cyberbullying are more likely to have suicidal thoughts and suicide attempts. Research done at the University of Utah Health shows that teens using social media are 3 times more likely to develop depression. This places teens at a greater risk for having suicidal thoughts and suicidal behavior. Knowing teens spend a lot of time on social media, it's important to be aware of possible solutions. As the mother of 4 kids living in a rural area, even our community has been impacted by suicides where social media played a role. Here are some things we can do to help struggling teens. Use suicide and crisis hotlines. Be aware of risk factors. Understand warning signs. Be proactive with mental health. Get connected to family and community support. Limit access to lethal means. And participate in activities that encourage connections that create a strong sense of purpose.
There are consequences to teens being on social media. Some of the ways they're being impacted include addiction, depression, anxiety, cyberbullying, and suicide. There is hope, though. As discussed, there are many solutions to the ongoing and disturbing results of social media usage in teens.